Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulheisen, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. It's a busy night here at the Huskers Radio Network, and we'll get you started with men's hoops as the Huskers are on the road to Indy to prepare for their Big Ten Round 1 showdown against Northwestern tomorrow. We begin with the end-of-season awards that were announced today. Bryce McGowens was named the Big Ten All-Freshman team and to the conference's third team. McGowens was also honored as the Big Ten Newcomer of the Year by the Associated Press today after leading the entire nation in freshman scoring with 17.2 points per game. Forward Derek Walker was also nominated for an award, and that was the Big Ten Sportsmanship Award for the conference. Huskers basketball also announced today that it will play the 2022 ESPN's Events Invitational this fall alongside the schools listed below: Oklahoma, Florida State, Memphis, Ole Miss, Seton Hall, Siena, and Stanford. The tournament will take place this coming November, November 24th through the 27th at HP Fieldhouse at ESPN's Wide World of Sports Complex near Orlando, Florida. In other Huskers news, Nebraska softball slugger Billie Andrews rightfully earned the Big Ten Player of the Week award following a weekend in which she dominated from the plate, hitting for a .500 batting average across 4 games, hitting 5 home runs, driving in 10 RBIs, and went along with a .625 on-base percentage. She now leads the country in home runs. You'll hear more from Billy later this week on Sports Nightly. Huskers men's gymnast Travis Wong earned his second Big Ten Freshman of the Week award this season following his career-high score of 13.45 on the pommel horse this past weekend. Elsewhere in college basketball tonight, in the top 25, Gonzaga will square off against 17th-ranked St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference Tournament final at 8 p.m. And earlier today in women's basketball conference tournament action, number 15 BYU was bested by Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Tournament final on the women's side, 71-59. And number 25 UCF took down Tulsa 69-54. It's March, and madness is not exclusive to college basketball as the NFL was on fire today. The day began with Aaron Rodgers reportedly signing a deal to return to Green Bay that would pay him $50 million per season for the next 4 seasons. That would be an NFL record. Rodgers took to Twitter this afternoon to refute that report, calling it inaccurate, but did confirm he will return to the Packers in 2022. He's disputing the terms and the salary that have been reported earlier in the day. Then the Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks stole the show as Russell Wilson, a longtime franchise QB for Seattle, was dealt to Denver for a bounty of draft picks, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th-round pick, plus quarterback Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant for Wilson and a 4th. Then a few extra franchise tags trickled in as well. Dalton Schultz got the tag from the Cowboys, the tight end there, getting a nice payday. Devontae Adams as a placeholder, the wide receiver star for Green Bay, also receiving the tag. Cam Robinson, the offensive tackle for Jacksonville, and it is Mike Gesicki, tight end for the Miami Dolphins, formerly Big Ten tight end, standout with Penn State. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulheisen, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billie Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanaman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch, and Shea Shanaman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina.
At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Jazz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Jazz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off to Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes, bang, a bang, a bang-a-rang. Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to another night of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. So glad you're with us today ahead of a winter storm that's coming this way. Are you ready for winter? I'm ready for winter to be gone. We're mid-March now. Come on.
Well, you're a snow guy, so I thought you were going to say I'm ready for winter weather. No, I'm done with it.
3 months ago I was, not now.
I'm done with it, and I thought we were over it. I thought we were through it.
And now it's messing with the ball bat sports. So see, now that's happening.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah,
that is bad news.
So that's crazy. But yeah, we may be getting some more about this time tomorrow night. Might start be getting some rain. This time tomorrow night, the Huskers are on the court. Big Ten tournament action. They left earlier today for Indianapolis. They'll have a workout there today, shoot around in the morning, and here they go. They owe the Northwestern Wildcats. Come on, 0-2 against those guys this year.
They do, and I bet Northwestern was not happy that Minnesota didn't get a win, and that it ended up, or that Wisconsin, the way that it worked out, that Northwestern, I guarantee you they are not happy that they got to see Nebraska again, because Northwestern's, are they on the bubble or are they in?
They're out.
Oh, they're out. Okay.
They're out. No chance. No chance.
So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see how this team responds coming off those wins. And I think it was good for them, to find a way to win without Bryce McGowan's out traded, to win without some of your stars. And just talking with Derek Walker last night, you could tell it's a really confident team. They're enjoying playing with each other, and they're ready to get back out on the court again.
Not sure about Bryce McGowan's availability. Fred Hoiberg met with the media today before they boarded the plane and said, well, he did a few more things today, but still wasn't full go. Well, now we're inside of 24 hours. I don't know. I wish I could say I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know. I'm probably on the other side. I don't know that he is going to play tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt his chance. There's so many things that are going into it. If he's thinking about maybe NBA, you don't want to, hurt it even worse. If, maybe they do go on a run and maybe he's just a day or two away and then you re-aggravate it. I don't know. So it's not maybe worth the risk at some point, but they also won without him the other day.
Right.
So, they've showed that they could do it. It's not like they're going into it without knowing what to do without Bryce McGowan's on the court.
And that's what that team's going to, and that's what would be the message from the coaches is exactly that. Hey, guys, we played the league champions on their home court and beat them. We can take care of Northwestern and try to get Bryce back maybe Thursday or Friday.
And I'll tell you this, being in Big 12 country for a long time when Fred Hoiberg was there, he knows how to go take his teams on a tournament run.
He does.
And there were a lot of times in the Big 12 that those teams did not want to be on the side of Iowa State because they found some ways to make some runs and tournaments that maybe they weren't supposed to. So I think this team they found a way to get over the hump, and they're enjoying to be out. They're enjoying being out on the court. They're having fun, and I don't think they're even close to wanting it to be done. And they realize what they have to do to make it extend and to be able to keep playing basketball.
It's over once it ends.
Right.
I mean, once the loss happens, it's over for the Huskers. The league did come out today with some of their postseason honors. Bryce McGowan, a couple of honors from the league. Made the Big Ten All-Freshman team, third-team honoree by both the coaches and the media. He also was named from the AP as the newcomer of the year. But from the Big Ten, he did not get the Freshman of the Year. Malachi Branham from Ohio State did. Somebody's got to explain that to me.
I don't agree at all. It's not. I've said this before. I understand that the player of the year should come from one of the better teams, the best team, or one of the top teams in the top of the conference. But what Bryce McGowan has been able to do, and he's been the subject of every scouting report. He's had to been asked to do a lot that maybe he didn't know coming in, and the way that he look at his improvement throughout Big Ten play, and people can't guard him. And I appreciate what Derek Walker said, last night, is that he's not a ball hog. I mean, he's got a green light to shoot it, and he can score all the time, but he is not a ball hog. He's a team guy, and I think it's hard to just watch his body of work and just take the record aside. If you just watch what Bryce McGowan's did this year, he's no doubt the Freshman of the Year. That's what it should be. When you vote on that, that's what it should be.
He wins the weekly honor by far the most times in this year, and he doesn't get I don't want to downgrade Malachi Branham. I think he's a really good player. He went off here at PBA against Nebraska back in January, so he's a really good player. But he didn't put up the numbers to be the Freshman of the Year.
And he had a lot more help. Some players have come on and have been contributing these last few games, which is why they've been able to find the win column. But there were times that the only offense sometimes was Bryce McGowan's, and he was having to carry a lot of the load that, not a lot of freshmen have to do. Right. So, it's just, if you are looking at if you ask people that are looking at draft, draft projections, and if he's one of the top freshmen, not just in this league, but in the country, he's one of the best freshmen in the country. How could he not win Big Ten Freshman of the Year?
Yeah.
If he's the best player, if he's the best freshman, he should get that award.
No argument here. I was baffled by that. Some of our sources were tipping us off last night that this was going to be the case today. I was hoping that was not accurate. It ended up being that way, and it's a shame. And Bryce, I think, even tweeted something about it. It's like, fine, let's just go play with some more ball. So he'll move on from this. Also, I should mention Derek Walker is Nebraska's nominee for the Sportsmanship Award for the year. You had a great conversation with him last night, and I'm rooting for Derek to come back next year. He has that extra year. I think it would be great for him to come back. I don't know which way he's leaning. I mean, he's maybe tired of college.
Yeah.
I got to that point in my life, too. You're kind of ready to move on.
I did, too. My first year, I got tired of college.
And, in fact, we ended the show last night with Coach Hoiberg. I think our last text was, Coach, do everything you can to get Trey and Derek to come back.
Yeah.
If he goes 50-50, I think Nebraska fans probably take that right now. We get one of those two guys.
I think, with potentially what you could do beyond, college. So you look at professional opportunities. And so he'll probably weigh that out. I also do like what has been done where you can declare, kind of get a feel for it, and then you can always come back.
Right.
That's good. I think that is good for these players to get to go explore, talk to some people, see exactly what maybe your options are, and then, all right, I'm not ready for that yet, come back. So I love that the NCAA college basketball did that a few years back. I think it's good for the athletes. And we've seen, some guys do it. So maybe he does that and sees, where his opportunities might be, what that looks like, and then, weighs those options. But I also think Derek really loves being here, and he loves playing for this program. And, I think he might be like some of those seniors that came back for football last year, wanting to help turn this thing around and win some games. And I think it means a lot to him to play for this program, and I think he wants to win for this program.
I think we'll know on him and Trey probably by the end of March. Both those guys will make their decision. And I don't know that either one's an NBA player. I don't think they probably are. They could
I'm saying, like, if you go talk about to other leagues around the world.
Right. They could go to Europe.
Yeah.
They both could.
But some teams only carry a few Americans. There's some rules there. What does the money look like? I mean, with everything that's going on in the world, what's that look like? You just explore those options and see what's there for you and go from there.
But I do think we'll know by the end of the month what their decision is, and the staff will need to know, because if they got to go fill their scholarships, they're going to need to know that and get into the transfer portal. All right, I want to touch on the survey. We've heard so much about the survey over the last 2 months that Husker Athletics has been putting out. They posted the results of that earlier today. Over 21,000, almost 22,000 people responded to the survey, and the median age was between 45 and 54. The median income, the people that filled it out, was over $100,000. So people with some cash took the time to fill this thing out. 42% of them are football season ticket holders. I think when I look at it, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of really interesting things in there. The overriding theme to me, Jessica, as I look through this, is people want comfort in their seats.
Yeah.
And I think Trev has talked about that on his shows with us, that he knows, and they're going to do it in the north end zone this offseason and widen those seats. Mm-hmm. Because when this thing was built 100 years ago, people weren't as big. We're bigger now than we were 100 years ago. So the seats were narrow.
And they were packing people in. They just keep packing people in and packing people in. So
I think that's when I look at this, that's the number one thing. Obviously, alcohol is touched on in here too. And more than 50% are okay if they opt to go that way. Folks, let me say this too. This does not mean this is what Nebraska is going to do. This is just the result of the survey. Now it goes back in the hands of the upper staff and Trev Alberts and those people, and they're going to pour through this and try to figure, okay, we can do this, or maybe we start to think about doing this in the coming years. So don't take this as the way it's going to be next fall when the Huskers play football. That's not the case. But I'm glad that they did this, and seat comfort was probably the number one thing that jumped at me.
I think it's so important because, I mean, you can think something yourself, and you might have a family member tell you something, but until you see it in a big group of people, what they feel and how what the averages are of all these numbers and stuff. And it's also good for the entire department. There are so many different things covered in the survey, like the video board. And people were excited about that. And that got a positive response. And so I know Husker Vision was excited to see that. It's important to see that, because there were some changes made in some of the things that they did on the video board. So it's good for them to see that was accepted by the fan base and they enjoyed the production on the big screen. So just, stuff like that it's good to get feedback, and it's important to get feedback so that you're putting the product out that keeps people coming back and keeps them entertained when football's not being played.
I pulled up the alcohol numbers. 41% have a very positive attitude about having it opened up at Memorial Stadium. So 41%, so 41% is a pretty big number. 17% say they're somewhat positive, so that takes it to 58% of the survey people, and 14% were neutral. I can take it or I can leave it. So that means 72% were I can either take it or leave it, or yes, we need to add it. That's a pretty strong number. And hey, I get it. This is a hot button issue. If you're against it, you're against it. If you're for it, you're really for it. There's not a lot of people right in the middle of this deal. And
this does not, by any means, we're not going to have football or alcohol in the fall.
No.
There's a lot of things that have to be worked through to get there. But yeah, I think, as we go along and you talk about a new generation of fans and welcoming them in, and how can you, again, make it the best game day experience possible. And then it's a big revenue generator. That's a big thing.
Sure is.
And so when you're talking about the future of potentially where college athletics could go, that's a big opportunity to bring in some revenue that is currently not available. And you and I have talked about it a lot on the show, but I mean, if you look across the country, and Texas is bringing in all kinds of dough from alcohol sponsors, and they have a liquor sponsor, a wine sponsor, a beer sponsor. They have all kinds of alcohol covered, and so they are rolling in the dough in that regard. And so it's important to look at that and continue to think about all the ways you can bring in revenue, because you never know how college athletics and the landscape of it could continue to change as we move forward.
The other thing that they touched on, and good for Nebraska to do this, and that was attitude towards legalized sports gaming, having sports kiosks set up around the stadium. You can go put a bet on a game. I don't know if it would be a Nebraska game, but it might be other games around college football that day. 21% very positive, 10% somewhat positive, so that gets you to 31%. 29% people were neutral on it, so that takes you to 60. And they included on the survey results, and you can find this at Huskers.com, some people's with their thoughts on this. They put some quotes from people who wrote in their survey. They filled out some quotes. And again, very polarizing topic. I'm glad Nebraska tackled it, though, so now they can at least go and digest this and see what they want. But again, as I look at it, yes, there's alcohol and questions in there. There was gambling questions in there. But I think the biggest thing was people want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
They want to have a wide enough seat that they don't feel like that they're cheek to cheek with the guy next to him or gal next to him.
Well, those hot days too, and
That's right,
give me a little room that I can get some air too. So.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting read. They also obviously talked about loge boxes or luxury suites or club seats, and got some reaction from that as well. So I thought it was a really well put together survey. Kudos to the people that had influence in this thing. I did not, so I'm taking no credit for this, but I thought it was pretty well laid out.
And kudos to the fans for responding. And it's important for the people that are making these decisions to know what actually people want and what's important to them. And so they were asked to fill it out, and boy, they delivered. So that was awesome. I thought it was good too to see you look at 18% 35 to 44, and then you even got some 25 to 34 and 8% under 25. So there were some young fans that wanted to have their voices heard too. You always love to see that, because sometimes the younger generation is I can't be bothered with that kind of stuff.
This is just me talking. I'm not speaking on behalf of Trev Alberts or anybody in the administration. I think you really have to focus in on what that 25 to 45 age group wants, because that's the group that's going to be buying your season tickets for the next couple of decades. You better move some things, kind of the areas that they want, because if not, they're not going to come. Well,
and it seems like that that demographic is positive towards alcohol sales. So, you got to cater to and figure out where these things are evolving and moving, and what's important to keep fans coming back and invested and spending money and investing money in the university.
They're the future.
Yep.
They're the future of this thing. All right, busy night coming up here. We're going to dial in Jake Mulheisen here in a couple of minutes, talk to him from Indianapolis. We'll probably pull him away from St. Elmo's. He's probably there tonight having his shrimp cocktail, but we'll pull him out on the streets and get his thoughts about this red-hot basketball team getting ready to play Northwestern tomorrow night. Jessica had a chance to catch up with linebacker/safety/nickel Chris Kolarvik, who's kind of changing positions this spring on the football team. We're going to hear from him coming up in hour number 2. Gary Pepin's going to join us in hour number 2. He's on his way to Birmingham, Alabama. The NCAA Indoor Championships are this weekend. 8 Huskers will be competing down there. We'll get Gary's thoughts about how he felt like the Huskers competed at the Big Ten Indoor a couple of weeks ago, and his thoughts about what could happen this weekend in indoor track and field. And we're going to play for you. Jessica caught up with Zach Taylor. Listen in on Zach talking to the Huskers team last week in Indianapolis.
That was so cool. I can't wait to get to talk about that a little bit more. And it was cool to see how the team responded and reacted, and we'll talk more about it. But he's a great dude. I had my first time meeting him, and he was so nice.
Isn't he nice?
Yeah.
What a great guy. Hey, anybody want to be a part of the program? We'd love that as well. 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. We're back to talk to Jake Mulheisen. We'll do that next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up, so why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Thought we wouldn't have a show tonight. Thought we'd have baseball tonight, but the Huskers game with K-State's been moved to tomorrow at 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock tomorrow, Husker men's basketball will take to the court at the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis. That's where we're headed now. Jake Mulheisen, who will be on the call tomorrow with Kent Pavelka, joining us now. Probably pulled you out of St. Elmo's, didn't we? You're probably having shrimp cocktail right now.
Man, I wish, Greg. I know some guys were trying to go there, but there's a lot of things going on in Indy right now, and they couldn't get a reservation or couldn't even get in. So I don't know where everybody's going to go tonight.
Kent Pavelka couldn't get a reservation? Come on.
That's what I thought. I said you couldn't throw your weight around here in Indianapolis a little bit, but no, nobody could get in.
I had that last week. I was telling Greg about it. I took a little bit too big a bite of that shrimp cocktail sauce, and my nose was burning from all up my nose into my forehead. I was crying. I had tears coming out of my eyes.
Well, if you take an aggressive bite of that stuff, it's kind of like wasabi, where if you take a big chunk, you're going to be crying for a little bit. That's for sure.
I did that. I made that mistake. Nobody warned me. Jake, you should have told me before I went to Indy.
Well, who'd you go with? Normally you get a little bit of a disclaimer when you go there and say, hey, just dabble a little bit and don't take too big of a bite.
Well, I went with Jess, who works with the women's basketball team social media. She had never been, and then Nick Burkhart. Yeah, he didn't really warn us.
Dang
so
it.
It's on Nick.
Yeah, you got to blame Nick on that one for sure.
Very good. What is happening, Jake? This team, like a switch, has been flipped. How has this happened in your eyes?
Well, it's first and foremost, it's been a ton of fun. I mean, you just watch this team play, and something, like you said, something flipped. The light bulb came on where I think the biggest thing on the offensive end was they're playing together, they're playing unselfish, they're finding their teammates when they're open. And you look at you start with that Penn State game when you go on the road, not really thinking you had a chance to win on the road. It's extremely difficult to win in any league when you're the visiting team, and guys just played together. They found the open teammates, and when you do that and guys are stepping in shots in rhythm, have a little momentum, they're able to knock them down. And the other thing is we're passing the ball well, hitting guys in their shooting pocket, and when you're getting that pass and you're ready to shoot, it's a much easier shot. So that's one thing. And then what's created some energy on defense, we're making shots on offense. We started playing some defense, and it's just been a cohesive unit on both ends. But it's the last 3 games have been a ton of fun. You look at that Wisconsin game and you go, how did we win that game? We had 9 fouls in the first 4 minutes, second half, but these guys are just playing together and just playing extremely unselfishly.
Yeah, I want to get your perspective and your take on what it was like during that whole game. You know, obviously we could hear the chants against Nebraska. Kent was losing his mind. What was that whole experience like for you?
It was crazy because, you know, we played so well. Let's back up. You start the game and you learn about 30 minutes prior to tip that Bryce McGowan is not playing. So you go, okay, well, that's not very good. Where you're playing the number 10 team in the country, the number 1 team in the conference, and you're missing our leading scorer, our guy that's been playing extremely well, albeit a freshman. So you start there. We play extremely good that first half, up 10 at a point in that first half. They climbed back and they cut it to 4 at halftime, but still felt pretty good about where we were at. Then that second half, where they're in the double bonus with 16 to play, and Trey McGowan gets ejected, and we're just and Kent and I look at each other, and then about 10 minutes to go in the game, Wisconsin gets up 10. So we almost started talking like, well, let's focus on the Big Ten tournament. Let's get out of here. Nobody hurt. Let's move on. And then we just kind of hung around. And the best part was we're in the booth, kind of up high in the 200 level, and Kent just starts going bananas. And when Verge hits that shot, I mean, it was amazing. And Kent's one of the best. So we had a ton of fun calling that game, and to win on the road at Wisconsin on Senior Day was just a ton of fun to call.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, chatting with Jake Mulheisen, who is in Indy. Huskers will play tomorrow at 5 against Northwestern, 4 o'clock for pregame coverage here on the network. Jake, third time's got to be the charm, right? As you view Northwestern, they've shot lights out against the Huskers in both the first and second matchups. What does Nebraska need to do differently to get a victory tomorrow and stay alive?
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. Northwestern shot 42% from 3 in those first 2 games. They're a team averaging 31%. So the law of averages have to come back into play at some point here in Indy, where if we just keep challenging those shooters, I think we have a really good chance. But they also didn't play the team how we're playing right now. We were a different team, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We played them in Northwestern, and then obviously at home when they came in and played extremely well. So I think if we can defend that on-ball screen, Boo Buie and Pete Nance, they really did a good job in those first 2 games of the on-ball screen, that mid-ball screen. We had a tough time defending that, and they really got a lot of open looks on the perimeter, where if we can find a way to get them out of rhythm, throw some different things at and how we defend that on-ball screen, I think that'll throw some fits at them. But then offensively, I think we're just playing with so much more confidence right now, where in those first 2 contests against them, we got sped up. We tried to do too much individually. So if we can just keep playing how we're playing, share that basketball, attack the rim, and find open teammates, I think we have a pretty good chance tomorrow.
So you talked about the confidence and the way that this offense is gelling and in such a good rhythm. How key has Alonzo Verge been to all of that?
I mean, I think he's been one of the best point guards in the league the last 4 games. I'm going to even include that Iowa game where I thought he played extremely well in that one too. But he's been that true point guard that we've needed, where he's proven, he's finding teammates both on the pick and roll to Derek Walker and to Eduardo Andre, but also finding teammates in transition. So I think he's been playing at an elite level, not only on the offensive end, but defensively he's been really good. I know he fouled out at Wisconsin, but he's kind of set that tone on defense and kind of followed the lead of Trey McGowan's on that energy side, especially on that defensive end. So he's been in my opinion, and talking with Ken and some coaches here, he's probably been the best point guard in the league the last handful of games.
Wow.
All right, I need you to either dispel a rumor or confirm it for me that in the broadcast on Sunday that Kent wears an Apple Watch and that he got a notification that he needed medical attention. Is that true?
That is absolutely true, but that was at the Ohio State game.
Oh.
with about 2.5 to play in that game when I think they cut it to 4, and he was just going bananas in the spot we were at, and he's going crazy, and all of a sudden his watch starts going off, and when that emergency goes off, it's a siren on your watch. And I look over, I go, what's going on? He had to click on his watch to tell the tell the ambulance not to come to the arena. So that was pretty funny.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
You two are the best. I got one thing I got to ask you, because we have on our calling, when we're looking at people that have called in or whatever, there's a comment section and it said Bryce McGowan's is robbed next to your name. You think Bryce McGowan's is robbed of Freshman of the Year?
I really do think he is. I mean, I know that Malachi Branham, that he's got the brand with Ohio State. He's played really well in conference play. But if you look at what Bryce has done, in the 8-time Freshman of the Week honor, leading scorer as a freshman in the country, I think he deserved it. But obviously we're a little bit biased, so I think he kind of got robbed on Freshman of the Year honors.
No arguments here. Hey, buddy, appreciate it. Get back to dinner and tell KP the next interview will be his.
All right. Well, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Jake Mulheisen joining us from Indianapolis again. 4 o'clock pregame tomorrow, 5 o'clock for tip. That's the opening game of the tournament. It's Nebraska and Northwestern. Jake joined us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. All right, phone lines, text lines open for you. 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show coming up.
Find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan and experience the difference. Choose your thrill in the all-new 2022 Nissan Murano, Rogue, or Sentra. Safety comes standard, so you can enjoy the ride knowing that Nissan has you covered. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase online or in person at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place. Discover a bold, new direction and drive Nissan.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats, in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Here's Harmon's pitch. That's hit in the air past the shortstop into left field. Being waved home is Banjoff. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's high all the way to the backstop. Banjoff scores. It's 1-0 Nebraska.
Tomorrow, Big Red Baseball is back in action as they square off against the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan. Pre-game coverage begins on the HRN at 3:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 4. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here's Harmon's pitch. That's hit in the air past the shortstop into left field. Being waved home is Banjoff. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's high all the way to the backstop. Banjoff scores. It's 1-0 Nebraska.
Tomorrow, Big Red Baseball is back in action as they square off against the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan. Pre-game coverage begins on the HRN at 3:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 4. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Discover a bold new direction and drive Nissan. The Murano, Rogue, and Sentra are equipped with features that will exceed your expectations. Safety comes standard with technology that's got your back, so you can feel confident on the road. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase online or in person at Woodhouse Nissan. Choose your experience and find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer-term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hello, it's Jim Persinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 308-284-3260 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Tuesday night. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question, or you can fire off a text if that's your preferred mode of communication. Let's head to the phones. Mike in Omaha joins us next. Good evening, Mike.
Hey, well, I hope the McGowans come back for another year. You'd think they'd love to play together, and the kid can get a lot better. Listen, when we played Ohio State, their freshman candidate, they posted on TV comparison of the stats. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And the thing that they were pretty close. The thing that was really different was a field goal percentage, and theirs was slightly over 50%. I think his was 39%. And I've watched most of the games, and some of them were unwatchable a lot of times because guys are jacking up bad shots, including our great freshman. And he had like one assist a game. So if that 39% goes up 5-10 points, we win more games because he's passing the ball and somebody's got open shots. There was one game where he played real well. At the end of the game, everybody knew he was going to get it, but there were 3 guys on him. So 2 of our guys were probably open, and he took a bad shot, and we lost the game. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think losing games is relevant.
Yeah. No, and there's no doubt. Mike, appreciate it. I do. That factors into these honors. Where's your team in the standings? It does. It's too bad that it does. But no, hey, again, Malachi's a really good player. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like Bryce has been better from start to finish. Art on our text line said, I hate to say it, but it was all about politics when it comes to Bryce not winning the Freshman of the Year. It reminds me of how Tommy Frazier didn't get the Heisman. Let's stay in Lincoln. Moose, you're up next here on Sports Nightly.
Hey, happy Tuesday evening to you.
Thanks.
It's daylight savings time week, so that's always a good week in my book.
You bet.
Me too.
Hey, I was just thinking about Husker basketball and Burge's numbers and the value he brings to the team, and had seen a tweet from Robin Washut, talking about his numbers and when's the last time somebody had all those numbers: top 10 field goal, top 10 free throw, top 10 steals, 14 points a game, leads the conference in assists. And I know, that it was a learning process for him this year. I mean, and I wouldn't trade Husker fans for the world. they're as passionate as we get, but sometimes we get a little carried away with ourselves. I was seeing today that Teddy Allen was the WAC Player of the Year, and everybody was ready to run him off earlier this year. A lot of the year, people were griping and moaning about Verge, and they were even doing the same thing a couple of years ago about James Palmer. So I just get to thinking that, sometimes we don't appreciate what we have while we have it. And I'm real grateful for what Verge has brought to the program and how much he's continued to grow and how much all of the players obviously trust their coach, Verge included. So appreciate you guys taking time for my call.
Hey, Moose, appreciate it. Thanks for the call. He has been a polarizing guy. Either you really like his game or he drives you nuts. And I'm kind of both ways with Alonzo.
I like his game. How he's been playing down the stretch the last 3 games. It's just phenomenal. And so I appreciated we had a caller last night that called in that talked about how this team could have really easily, they could have just easily just closed up the tent and not come out and competed and fought hard these last 3 games. And it's just the way that they have come together and have found a way to close out this season on a high note. It could do wonders in an off season, going into with some confidence and building off of that. So I think it's huge the way they've continued to fight. And Alonzo Verge is a big part of that.
He has been. And he's like Jake said in our last segment, last 4 games, he's been pretty special out there. There's been other games though that he has hurt the team. I will agree with Moose on that. Let's go back to Omaha. Mike again, you're up here on Sports Night. Good evening, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Question, didn't Bryce get the Newcomer of the Year award?
The AP, named him the Newcomer of the Year in the league, which would be anybody new. Could be a junior college transfer portal, so he won that, which in a lot of ways is a bigger deal than just the Freshman of the Year.
That's what I was saying. It's a little bit bigger deal, more competition. You got, maybe 3 to 5 freshmen that have an impact?
Roughly,
of great significance like that. So, probably more transfers than 3 to 5 gonna have impact. So, I actually think that one's a bigger award.
Well, yeah, especially with the transfer portal and all the different guys that transfer in and out of teams. But I think the big thing, the reason why people have some things to say about it is because that doesn't come out from the conference.
Right.
That's the AP. So, when the Big Ten Conference is putting out their notices, when they're putting it on their shows and doing all the announcements, they don't announce that one. It's different. The Freshman of the Year is coming from the Big Ten. I think that's why it's a different conversation.
Mike, appreciate the call. Nebraska.
But absolutely agree, though, that it is a bigger deal, I think, to be
huge
newcomer as opposed to just freshman.
Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. Randy, hang on. We'll get to your call on the other side of the break.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, And your safety is the number one priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Discover the all-new 2022 GMC Terrain. With 3 distinct trim lines to choose from, there's a Terrain for any driver. Plus, safety and capability come standard in the Terrain lineup so you can conquer the road with confidence. Shop our indoor showroom or purchase online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. Final few minutes of hour 1, 402-413-2400. Let's go to Maxwell next. And Randy. Good evening, Randy.
Well, good evening, Greg and Jessica.
Good evening.
And congratulations on a popular show.
Thank you.
You know what I wanted to comment on? I have a Facebook friend that I heard back. I saw a post a few days ago, and he was at the Pinnacle Bank Arena for the Big Ten wrestling meet. And he was holding a beer. And he said that was the first time at any Husker event that he was able to enjoy a beer. And I don't think they burned down the joint. I don't think there was riots. He did say, though, that 2 Iowa fans flipped him and his son off. But they were dressed in Husker garb, so, hey, that happens whether you're drinking or not.
And you play Iowa.
Well, unfortunately, Iowa's at the top of the Big Ten in wrestling for the most part.
True, yep.
All right, I just wanted to give that a little input. And I hope he was correct. It was the PBA. And it was the Big Ten tournament. He said he had a beer, so I don't know. I assume I wasn't there in person.
Nope, he did. Yep.
Yeah.
Randy, appreciate it. Yeah, that made pretty big news a couple weeks ago when the Board of Regents gave the approval to go ahead and sell it at the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. And I think it might have been a bit of a trial balloon, but I didn't hear of any issues other than fans probably being fans to each other.
Yeah, I went to on Sunday and I saw quite a bit of people drinking up in the stands, but you also add on top of that, like normally it's just, at a event, it's all one fan base, but this is a bunch of fan bases that are really passionate about wrestling, and there was no riots, like he said, so that's good.
Yeah, and again, I get that this is a hot button issue with a lot of people and very strong opinions on both sides. The survey kind of backs up what the performance was this weekend at wrestling. So it's not going to happen at football next fall. That's not going to happen. Maybe in a couple years it could. Could it happen at PBA for basketball? Yep, sure could. Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. You don't wear an Apple Watch. I don't wear an Apple Watch, so no. I don't know ever if I need medical attention, but maybe I need to start doing that.
I don't have an Apple Watch. I barely can work my phone.
I gotcha. We got a whole another hour. Fun stuff coming up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Make it custom, make it yours. Right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Blair, you can get up to $2,500 off MSRP when you place a custom 2022 Ram 2500 or 3500 order during Ram Truck Month. Get $1,000 off MSRP when you custom order. Plus, with a qualifying trade-in, get an additional $1,000 off Business owners get an additional $500 off. Shop Ram Truck Month online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, Hai-Chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery. Order today at Hy-Vee.com/mealtime.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. It's a busy night here at the Huskers Radio Network as we'll get you started with men's hoops. You heard from Jake Mulheisen in Hour 1 talking about the team prepping for their game tomorrow in Round 1 of the Big Ten tournament against Northwestern. But a lot of awards came out earlier today as Bryce McGowan, the star freshman for Nebraska, was named to the Big Ten All-Freshman team and the conference's third team. McGowan was also honored as the Big Ten Newcomer of the Year by the Associated Press today after leading the entire country in freshman scoring with 17.2 points per game. Forward Derek Walker was nominated for a Big Ten Sportsmanship Award as well. Huskers basketball also announced today that it will play in the 2022 ESPN Events Invitational this fall alongside Oklahoma, Florida State, Memphis, Ole Miss, Seton Hall, Siena, and Stanford. The tournament will take place November 24th through the 27th at HP Fieldhouse at ESPN's Wide World Sports Complex near Orlando, Florida. In other Huskers news, Nebraska softball slugger Billy Andrews earned the Big Ten Player of the Week award following a weekend in which she dominated from the plate, hitting an even 500 across 4 games, in which she hit 5 home runs, drove in 10 RBI to go along with a .625 on-base percentage. You'll hear more from the sophomore later in the week right here on Sports Nightly. In other Huskers news, it is Huskers men's gymnast Travis Wong earning his second Big Ten Freshman of the Week award following his career-high performance in the pommel horse with a score of 13.45. Elsewhere in college basketball tonight, number 1 Gonzaga is squaring off against 17th ranked St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference Tournament final at 8 p.m. Earlier today in the women's basketball conference tournament action, number 15 BYU was bested by Gonzaga's women's team in the women's side of the West Coast Conference tournament final. That score was 71-59. And then number 25 UCF took down Tulsa 69-54. It's March, and madness is not exclusive to college basketball. Today, chaos has reigned supreme in the NFL. The day began with Aaron Rodgers reportedly signing a deal to return to Green Bay that would pay him $50 million per season for 4 years. That would be an NFL record. Rodgers took to Twitter this afternoon to refute the report of the term and the salary, calling it inaccurate, but did confirm he will return to the Packers in 2022. The Packers then went on to franchise tag star receiver Davante Adams. Then the Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks stole the show as Russell Wilson was dealt from Seattle to Denver for a bounty of draft picks, including 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th. Plus quarterback Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant for Wilson and a 4th-round pick. Some other franchise tags signed or given today. Cowboys tight end Dalton Schultz, again the aforementioned Davante Adams with Green Bay, and Cam Robinson, the offensive tackle with Jacksonville, and finally Miami Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billy Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanaman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch. And Shea Shanaman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina.
At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Chaz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Chaz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off to Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes, bang, a bang-a-ring. Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night. Again, no show tomorrow night. Husker basketball will be playing in the first round of the Big Ten tournament against the Northwestern Wildcats. Tip-off at 5, pregame coverage at 4 with Kent and Jake. We heard from Jake last hour here on the program. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk a little Husker football. 4 practices in the books of the 15 for spring. Chris Kolarvik is an interesting name. Played some last year, but now they're trying to kind of make him a jack of all trades. A little bit like the JoJo Doman role for last year, so we're going to hear from Chris coming up here in a little bit. Husker track and field headed to Birmingham, Alabama this weekend for the NCAA indoor meet. Track coach Gary Pepin will join us. I believe he's on the road driving down to Birmingham. He'll talk some track and field with him at 7:25. And we'll play for you Zach Taylor, the former Husker football great, who now is the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. He addressed the Husker women before their game last week with Michigan. We'll play that back for you. Have some fun with that coming up later on the hour. And, as always, phone lines, text lines open and available for you, 402-413-2400. Yesterday, after practice, we heard from the defensive coaches and players. We played a lot of clips from Eric Chinander last night. Travis Fisher talked, and you had a chance to catch up with the young man who a year ago was transferring in here from Northern Iowa.
Yeah, so finally settling in, and it was it's always an adjustment period. So he's moving to a new position, but still one of those older guys that's coming back, that's experienced, and so got a chance to talk with him about all things spring football. All right, well, full pads on. How did that feel to get those back on?
Really good, yeah. A little quick turnaround. We got spring ball early this year, but it felt good to get the pads on and get running around a little bit. So,
how did you guys pick back up when you hit the field again this spring, coming off what you did last fall, especially for the defense?
I think there's a lot of guys that want to prove themselves. There's a lot of new faces that and a lot of new positions that guys are ready to prove themselves. Guys are flying around, having fun playing. So,
your first full year in the books with Nebraska, how do you feel going into this spring?
I feel really good. It feels good to have that experience. It feels good to feel like I know everybody around me. I know how things work around here. It's just a comfort level around a facility and a program that I didn't have last year, so it's good.
You're working at nickel in the spring here. Take me through that conversation and why that was a spot that you're kind of moving into this spring.
Yeah, it was just a conversation after the season I had with the coaches, and I just felt like that was a position that I could come in and compete at and use my ability, and I'm trying to do that right now. So,
why is that a spot you feel comfortable at?
I've done it. I did it. I have experience at it before, and I think I can play out in space like that and cover guys and use my athletic ability.
Obviously, we saw a guy like JoJo do a lot of things, playing nickel some, and that was a big role. So how important is it to have a guy like you that has experience to be able to come in and maybe help fill that role? Definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to come in and play as best as I can and try and fill that role as best as I can and use my ability and try and maximize that and what I have to offer to this team and give everything I have to this team to make us the best that we can be.
Was it something, did you have to do a lot of studying, or what? How did you prepare mentally wise to step into that for this defense specifically?
It was a lot of watching film and seeing how to use leverage in space, because it's just a lot more space out there. Versus playing Mike or Will, there's just not as much space where you don't have to cover as much ground. So it's just figuring out how to use your leverage on guys and play out and just having more space out there.
I know Luke Reimer's out, but how have the inside backers looked where you just came from?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, Nick Henrich is always balling. He's doing really well, making plays. Vaz out there flying around. And then you got the young guys coming in, and they're playing well. It's fun to see those guys developing. Ernie, Mackay, Seth, and Randy. It's fun to see all those guys learning and getting better and just doing their thing. So
the linebackers across the board are really the oldest guys, the most experienced guys. What was the message, for you guys, the older guys, coming in to kind of step into that leadership role? I mean, Garrett was saying last year he's been the young guy. Well, now he's no longer the young guy, and there's a lot of you guys in that spot now.
Yeah, I think it really is just bringing in the guys that are new and bringing in the guys that haven't been here and trying to make them feel like this is home and making them feel like we're helping them along and helping them learn and getting them better, because at the end of the day, like, those are guys, that's our team. These new guys that's our team, and we got to make them as good as they possibly can be, and the way to do that is to bring them along with us, and because we do have that experience, and helping them with the playbook where they need it, and because you're right, we can help them in that way. Yeah. What's
the secondary competition look like so far?
It's fun to watch for sure. It's fun. Yeah, there's a lot of guys back there, a lot of guys running around, flying around, making plays. So, yeah, it's fun to watch.
And then with the wide receivers, I'm sure you're matching up with a few of them. How explosive are those guys?
They're playing well. They're playing really well. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun to watch play. They make a lot of plays, honestly, and it's good for me to have to play against them because it makes me better. And we're really honestly making each other better, and that's what it's about.
What do you guys do? How do you approach each practice? Because you don't go every day, and then you take a week off for spring break. I mean, what's the goal for this week in particular?
The goal for this week is, for me at least, is to focus as much as I can on each rep that I have, and because it really is, it's not that much. If you think about it, it's 3-hour practices 3 times a week. That's 9 hours in the whole week. So you really just gotta, with all your mental and physical and emotional focus, for those 3 hours, you can put it into that and put everything you have into that, because really it's not that much. It's not that much time. So if you can just put your energy into that and really work on everything that you need to work on and get yourself as good as you can be, and then bring others around with you. I think that's the focus.
For those of us that will not be inside practice and watch it, what is it like? What is a breakdown? Give us a breakdown of kind of team, or install. What does it look like for you guys?
So we get here, we do some special teams meetings, we do individual meetings, and then we go out, we do a little like pre-practice stuff, and then do a walkthrough, and then we do stretch, and then after stretch we'll go to probably special teams usually, and then after special teams we'll go to some individual drills, just at DB or at nickel we do a lot of pass drops, that kind of thing, working on different coverages with the safeties and corners, and then we'll go to usually we'll go to a one-on-ones or some other individual type drill where we'll cover tight ends or wide receivers, and then we'll start, and then after that we'll go like 7-on-7 or team or like some, they call it run play action, so it's a lot more like hard run fits. So it just kind of alternates between. So you get like you do a team period, whichever one of those it is, 7-on-7 team period. You do that and you get a water break, and then you do another team period, and then you get a water break, and it just kind of. And then they usually mix in a special teams at some point in the middle. I know that was kind of long-winded, but I did my best to thoroughly explain.
That's good. I think people are interested to know that. You mentioned special teams multiple times in that answer. I know Bill Bush was around, but what's it been like working with him?
Bill Bush is a funny dude. Bill Bush is a really good coach. He's I like working with him. I like because he has a lot of experience doing special teams, and there's not a ton of coaches in the country that really just have a ton of experience doing special teams, and it's amazing for him to have all that experience and to be able to bring that to us and kind of help us with. And kind of putting guys in positions to succeed, and yeah, it's fun to work with. So
there's been a big emphasis on special teams, is what you're saying.
I don't know if any more than it has in the past. I think we're just doing our work, and we're trying to be as good as we can on every facet of the game.
All right, so that's this team. What about your former teammates and how they performed at the Combine?
It was so fun to watch. It's amazing to watch. It's just guys living out their dream. It's guys that you're friends with who are on TV living their, like, this is what we watch every year, and we get to watch the guys older than us living their dreams, and then they get to go do it. It's just amazing to see them living what they've dreamed about.
4.38 for Cam Taylor-Britt. Were you surprised by that?
No, he's such an explosive athlete that I wasn't surprised. Nobody was.
And Cam Jurgens, and one of the fastest offensive linemen. That's not surprising either, right?
Not at all. He's freaky athletic.
All right, and speaking of that, he's got a role that this team is looking to fill there at center. What's the offensive line look like so far?
They're looking good. It's fun to see guys competing. It's fun to see guys playing hard and doing their thing.
Yeah, I got that right away, the special teams, but he's such a nice guy. Another one of those players that is very kind and generous, and felt like I could ask him about anything. But yeah, you heard the special teams comment a lot.
Fun guy to talk to, Eddie.
Yeah, he is.
Really
He's great.
Nice guy. And yeah, that caught my ear, how many times he mentioned when he was laying out what a practice is like, how many times special teams got mentioned. That should be music to Husker fans' ear, because I think there's a perception Nebraska doesn't work on it. They do. And they're going to be better at the kicking game. And I think they're going to be better, both punting and kicking, next year.
Absolutely. And, just, again, here and working with Bill Bush and how he was here, but he just was not able to do all the things that he's able to do now. So you could hear him talk about how, the knowledge of special teams, which is very evident with Coach Bush, is just so critical.
Yeah. And he'll talk your ear off.
I know. I've seen him walking around twice here today. So always fun to run into him.
Yeah, he will do that. So good to hear from Chris. Tomorrow the Huskers practice again. And the head coach is going to meet with the media after practice tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what his assessment, that'll be after practice number 5. So they will be 33% of the way through spring ball after tomorrow's workout. And we're told some of the quarterbacks are coming tomorrow.
I'm told I'm going to be able to chat with them tomorrow, so hopefully we'll have that for you. Those sit-down conversations.
Later in the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday, because no show tomorrow.
No show tomorrow, people.
No show. We have lots of
basketball.
And baseball.
And baseball. But most of our affiliates will have that basketball game tomorrow. And we're trying to get Jeremiah come tell us about the combine. Can we do that?
I got him.
Oh, so he's good. Okay.
He worked me into his busy schedule. It had to be today because he's hitting the road to go to Wisconsin, and he's traveling all over the place. And he's going to be here, be around. He'll be here for Pro Day and spring football. Once he kind of gets through some of these Pro Days, he'll be able to be around a lot more.
Good. So we'll hear that maybe Thursday night.
Yep.
There you go. There's a little teaser for everybody right there. Good to hear from Chris Kolarvik. And again, we think the quarterbacks are going to talk tomorrow, so we'll have that for you on Thursday night's show as well. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy it online at woodhouse.com. We're back to talk some indoor track and field. The Huskers off to Birmingham, Alabama for the NCAA indoors this weekend. Legendary coach Gary Pepin will join us next.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA-certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. You never know what lies ahead, so trust the powerful and innovative features of the 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Its powerful engines and bold presence give you superior capability to handle what life throws your way. Advanced technology and safety features come standard to help you keep in command while on the road. Purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Here is a before-winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple-pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
If your business communication slows down, your business slows down. Kidwell can help. Kidwell streamlines your company's communications with phone systems that work the way you work, in the office or on the road. Kidwell systems provide the unified communications features your users demand, like voicemail to email, instant messaging, and calendar integration. And Kidwell will be there providing training, service, and support to make sure you get the most out of your investment. Don't let communications problems slow down your business. Visit kidwellinc.com.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Coming up this weekend, the Husker track and field team will be wrapping up the indoor season with the NCAA championships in Birmingham, Alabama. Delighted to be joined now tonight by the 41st year head coach of Husker track and field, Gary Pepin, making his way to Alabama. Hey, Coach, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. Just pulled into Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, that's kind of close to your old stomping grounds down there in that part of the country.
Not too far, in great fishing country.
there you go. Hey, before we talk about the NCAAs, I want to get your thoughts on how you felt like the Huskers competed at the Big Tens a couple of weeks ago.
Well, overall with both teams, I thought the kids put forth real good efforts. On the men's side, we could have been second. We had a couple missed bobbles that happened. One in the hurdles that was a questionable false start. But overall, I thought that the men did real well, particularly with the people that we have there. And like I tell our kids, if we don't do real well, it's normally because we don't have enough great athletes there. And if we don't have enough great athletes there, that's not the kids' fault. That's the coach's fault that we didn't do a good job enough recruiting unless, you got injuries or something like that comes up. On the women's side, we finished seventh, which was in some areas we had a lot of people that did well. We just didn't have enough real good athletes. And our one real good girl, long jumper from Germany, got hurt the week before, so she wasn't in the meet. And same thing, she had qualified for this national meet coming up, but wasn't able to go.
Coach, it's funny that you mentioned the hurdles. I was actually watching when that happened. Darius Luff had come on the show earlier that week, and he was the number one qualifier. And then there was a lot of talk about what happened and that there was a noise. And even the announcers were saying that they didn't think that he should have been disqualified. But, he's one of the top, guys at that event in the entire nation. Has that motivated him going into this week?
Oh, yeah, absolutely it did. And it was very questionable. There was long discussion about it, and it's something that you can't protest. Only the starter can make that decision, and the starter decided that it was a false start.
That's tragic for that. All right, 7 athletes going to Birmingham. I think there's 8, right, but only 7 competing for the Huskers. Do I have my numbers right on that?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
What is somebody just going to compete unaffiliated for you then?
Oh no, the German girl that's the real good long jumper for us had one of the top jumps in the nation, and she's the same young lady that was the number 1 long jumper in the world as an 18-year-old last year. and she has a foot injury and couldn't come to the meet, period. So all the other people are competing for the University of Nebraska.
Gotcha. Okay, I want to know about your shot putters, both on the men's and the women's side. Berger's been fantastic. Alex has been really good for you. Your Johansson girl on the women's side. What chances do you give them here coming up this weekend?
Well, I'm expecting and certainly hoping that both Berger and Alex will score in the shot. And Alex is in the weight throw as well, and last year scored in 2 events, in the shot and the weight, and then he scored outdoors in 2 events as well. So he has kind of been through this all before, as well as Berger, so I think they both have a chance to do real well. Axelina, who is a budding star in the shot, has had mono. Oh. And so she's not up yet to 100%, but we're hoping that she'll do well and be ready to compete at a high level in the meet.
Alex Talley is the Big Ten athlete of the Big Ten championships. He's performed well all indoors, and I know it was a good get for you. What was his story? How did he end up here? He was at North Dakota State and was performed well there, and then he's here this year for the first time.
Yes, and he is really a great young guy, and a great young man, and a tremendously hard worker, and a real team person. And it's like having somebody that you're coaching out there that's probably 30 years old, is in terms of attitude and work ethic and all those kind of things, and has come from a situation in which he's always worked hard his whole life, and his family did, and so he's a real asset. The main reason that he came here is because we hired his coach, Justin St. Clair, and so he wanted to come and be trained with Justin, and we were open arms to have him here.
Coach, how about the jumpers? I know Mason had a great Big Ten meet for you. You've done both well on both the women's and men's side in the high jump. How do you feel about your jumpers? What kind of chance do you give them?
Well, but both of them good chances. We think the men's high jump is wide open. There's, I would say probably 5 or 6 guys that are real close, that virtually any of them could win the competition. And I think that Gina Rogers is going to do well. We had a really unusual situation. She won the conference meet, and as the high jump we were expecting, well, I wouldn't say expecting, but she had an opportunity to jump higher after she had won the meet. But one of her very best friends jumped just before her for Rutgers, I believe, and tore her ACL on our last jump, and so that just kind of killed the competition for everybody, and they shut the high jump down after that, and so it was kind of a sad situation for the young lady from Rutgers, and for Gina as well, because that was a good friend of hers, and it just kind of killed the competition and everything.
Goodness. How about Darby in your long jump?
Darby is doing better and better all the time and has really improved, so I think she's got a chance to be a scorer in the meet. She is going to have to really jump well. The long jump is a very, very tough event, but she's healthy and ready to go.
What's a day like this like for you? How do you manage all these athletes? Are you running around, or do you specifically kind of focus on one athlete?
Well, I coach the long jump, triple jump. So I really only have the one young lady there, Darby, that I'll have to, really keep my eyes on and work with on all those things. But I'm certainly, wherever there's one of our events going on, I'm with our coach over there and giving moral support and trying to stay out of their way and not give them too many answers how to do things.
Love it.
Jessica asked you about Darius. Let's talk a little bit more about him. I love to brag on the Lincoln kids. He's been, I know, special for you. He's got a chance, doesn't he? He can score for you down there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He has just gotten better and better, and a hard worker and great family, and of course, right from Lincoln, and we really had to recruit hard to get him, because at one time he was headed to Indiana, and we certainly didn't want him to go there and leave the university. So yeah, he's done a great job and just getting better and better all the time. So yeah, he certainly has a chance to be a scorer in the meet.
He was awesome when we had him in studio. He told me he was a little nervous. He hadn't done an interview on camera like that, but he was so great. He owns a Nebraska state records, and I was told by a couple other athletes that I've interviewed that when he gets ready to run, it's almost like everybody watches and pays attention, that he's pretty special.
Well, he's all business and has high goals and really wants to be good and has done the work that's necessary to be good. So everything that he's gotten at this point, he has earned, and the coaches have done a great job with him. And same with virtually all these events. These people have gotten a lot of attention from their coaches and have responded well and worked hard. And so it's a big honor just to get to the meet, because I think now they only have 15 or 16 athletes out of the entire United States qualified to come to the meet in each event. So you're pretty good if you just get here.
No doubt. Coach, we appreciate it. We'll let you get back on the road. How quickly do you jump into the outdoor season? It's got to be fairly quick.
Well, some of the throwers, normally what we do is try to go to good weather, and of course about the only place you're going to be assured of that is Arizona. So about a week or two after the after the national meet, some of those people that don't compete indoors, particularly like javelin throwers, discus throwers, those kind of people will be headed out to Arizona for a meet.
Hey, I lied. One more for you. Kaylin Meyer. She's yours now, right? You excited about that?
Yeah. Well, very, very much so. Yeah, I think she's going to be a tremendous athlete, just like her mother was, and her dad was, and her dad's brothers. I mean, there's a family line there of terrific athletes, and just a very, very special family.
Coach Cook still talking to you?
Yeah, he and I have had several talks about Kaylin Meyer.
I bet. Travel safe, Coach. We appreciate it.
Okay, hey, nice to visit with you guys. Keep the snow away.
We'll try. There he is, Gary Pepin, joining us on our Hot Sports Line. I'd love to give you trouble about taking Kaylin Meyer away from John Cook.
Yeah, that's always fun. Coach Cook was up here earlier. He brought some coffee, I think, for Mike Elliott to try. So.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
8 entries for the Huskers at the indoor. That's the most since 2015. So we wish them all good luck this weekend and hope they do well. Friday, Saturday, down in Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be tracking their progress. Coach Pepin joined us on our Sports Sunday Hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. Was the coffee any good? Yeah? Good stuff.
He had specific instructions on what you have to do.
Of course he did.
What is it called? French roast? Is that right? French press. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Wasn't he at the indoor sand
I think
thing
he dropped
today?
it off on the way over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he hands that to Jalen, but he's going to
hang
around
I think he was
it.
on his way over there. So
Now
he
they're
had
going to
specific
Hawaii.
instructions on what to do.
They leave tomorrow for Hawaii.
I know. I just keep telling him, like, if they need a live reporter, but.
It can be tough to be over there on the beach in Hawaii. All right, 402-413-2400. Plenty of time if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We'll come back and let you hear Zach Taylor. Yeah, that's Zach Taylor. He talked to the Husker women's team in Indianapolis last week. We'll let you hear in on that conversation next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Here's Harmon's pitch. That's hit in the air past the shortstop into left field. Being waved home is Banjoff. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's high all the way to the backstop. Banjoff scores. It's 1-0 Nebraska.
Tomorrow, Big Red Baseball is back in action as they square off against the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan. Pre-game coverage begins on the HRN at 3:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 4. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Here's Harmon's pitch. That's hit in the air past the shortstop into left field. Being waved home is Banjoff. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's high all the way to the backstop. Banjoff scores. It's 1-0 Nebraska.
Tomorrow, Big Red Baseball is back in action as they square off against the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan. Pre-game coverage begins on the HRN at 3:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 4. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Thanks again to Coach Pepin for pulling the car over and chatting with us for a few minutes there a little bit ago. How about this news today, Jessica? The Iowa-Nebraska women's game last week was the most watched women's game on BTN ever. How about that?
Wow.
The semifinal game Saturday night. Most watched BTN women's game ever.
That's amazing. Look, I said it last night. I've talked about it a lot. Sometimes I get a little annoyed with Caitlin Clark crying, but she has done a lot for the game. But then also, this Nebraska team is really fun to watch, and they've won a lot of people over. I mean, I just can speak for my mom and dad. They haven't missed a game after watching them play. They are all in on. They're fun to watch. They do things the right way. And so between Husker fans tuning in and then people, interested in Caitlin Clark, that's what's going to happen.
I was going to give a lot of credit to Husker fans.
Absolutely,
that's the thing. That's what they just flock to that.
They have bought in and they're watching, and so I think that combination together, Caitlin Clark and the Nebraska fans are, is why that happened.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Nebraska had the highest watched women's game on BTN history. So that's
and now
cool.
the Nebraska had the highest rated volleyball game too. I think it's awesome for women's sports that continues to grow and people are watching and tuning in. And by the way, talk to Megan Kahn about putting women's basketball less on the streams, more on linear platforms, which they're going to try to make a push to do. But that's what happens when you put them on TV. You got to put them on TV.
Here's one of my issues, and I've always thought this with BTN. They have these alternate channels. So if you have satellite or cable, you can find that there's like a BTN2 and BTN3. Why doesn't it go on there? And they use it a couple of times a year in football when they have multiple BTN games at once. They'll put them on Channel 2 or Channel 3. Do that and put those sports on those things.
Put it on Fox Sports 1 more. I mean, there's maybe play an earlier afternoon game. Those always do well. And take Skip and Shannon off of there. They're the debate shows. I could do without those.
There's enough of those.
Yeah,
right?
And watch some women's basketball.
Well, talking about that tournament last week in Indianapolis, a real treat for the team because the combine was going on just down the street. And the Huskers were able to make some calls and get Zach Tater, who's the head coach of the Bengals, to come over and see the team.
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy who the women's team has brought in. He's watched a lot of their games. You could tell by the way he was talking to him. He had seen this team play a lot. So he's bought in as well, and he is a big fan of all sports. And so, yeah, he was at the combine, walked over. You had mentioned it. I didn't believe you, but everything's walking distance. It's really close. You can get everywhere quickly. So he walked over.
Did you walk around there at all?
Yeah. What?
Did you walk around the stadium at all?
At the
dome?
No, I didn't. I didn't make it over there. But
Jeremiah should have been able to get you in, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I should have pulled some strings, but I was all in on basketball. But yeah, so he walked over and got a chance to give the team a little pregame speech before they took down Michigan.
He was our Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year as a quarterback for Nebraska, and quarterback from 2005 and 2006, did amazing things on and off the field. In just his third year with the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals, took them all the way to the Super Bowl. So we're honored to have him share a few words of wisdom. Inspire you a little bit tonight before you take on Michigan. Please welcome the head coach for the Bengals and a proud Nebraska alum, Zach Taylor.
I can tell you really the honor's all mine to go speak in front of you all, because I watch you all play all season, believe it or not. Even when we're playing our games, I've got the TV on in the background, watching the men play, watching you all play. And it makes me really proud because when I see you all play specifically, and even last night as I watched you win that game in the first round, you see a team that really plays for each other, and then that's where it all starts. You probably all know plenty of teams, you've played on plenty of teams that have a ton of talent, maybe more talent than everybody else, but you see that maybe there's not the chemistry or the togetherness there. And when I watch you all play, I see that. I see a team who plays with more energy than their opponent. They play for each other more than the opponent does. And the one thing that I'm proud of, when I'm at an airport, travel around the country, you run into somebody and they say, oh, where'd you go to school? I love saying I went to Nebraska, because that means something. It means people think I'm tough, just as a byproduct of saying I played in Nebraska. So when I watch you ladies play, you see toughness, you see togetherness, you see a team that wants it more for the person next to them than they want it for themselves. And to me, that's what Nebraska means. And that's what you all represent. You represent all the other sports in Nebraska. When you guys take the floor tonight, you ladies take the floor tonight, you stand for that. And I'm just telling you right now, it shows through. When I watch you with my two little boys that are at home, don't watch anything Nebraska. So we watch volleyball, we watch football, we watch men's basketball, we watch women's basketball, we'll watch baseball here in a couple weeks. But really proud to say I'm from Nebraska when I watch you all play, and look forward to seeing you guys get after Michigan tonight. So you're going to, because from the jump, just like last night, you controlled the game from the jump. You got after them, and once you all get on top of somebody, you never let up. And I look forward to seeing that. You've already done it once this year against Michigan, right? You've already done that, so we're gonna do it again. and then it goes on to the next one, on to the next one, and then watching y'all play in the tournament is going to be an awesome thing here in a couple of weeks. So, again, proud to say I went to Nebraska. Proud to watch you all represent all the things that are great about the university, and that you all should be proud of each other. So, go get them tonight.
All right.
That was so cool to get to experience, and you could see the girls were so bought in. And Amy Williams, when I interviewed her after the game, said how much it meant to them for him to come over and talk to them, and they were really inspired by him. And I don't think the Australians knew, because they didn't even know who the Colts were.
Right.
But they probably didn't know. But there were some players that knew. The Nebraska kids knew who Zach Taylor was, and Alexis Markowski walked out of there and said that was lit. And then Allison Widener was like, "Hey, I need to post this on my Instagram to give me some clout." So they were excited to see him and understood what success that he has had, and they really enjoyed seeing him and getting to chat with him. And I did too. He's so nice.
Very nice.
Like, if you just met him, you'd never know he was a
very unassuming.
Yeah,
very
he's
unassuming.
So
guy.
Kind and nice.
That's why that story, when they won the playoff game, which was the first one in Cincinnati history since like '91, he stopped by like a pub with the game ball to just kind of share it with the fans. That's what he does. He's just that kind of a guy.
Cool.
I
thought one of the key points when he said, you can tell when you watch this team, you want it more for the person next to you than you want it for yourself. If that could not be more spot on about this women's basketball team. I've never been around a team like this in my entire career. Maybe the closest was the year that I covered Oklahoma that went to the Final Four. But even then, it's like they don't care about they are not about getting mine and, hey, I need to get mine. They are about coming together as a team and doing whatever it takes to accomplish a mission of winning a basketball game.
That was cool. Glad we could share that with everybody there. Zach Taylor talking to the Huskers before, and it inspired them. They went out and beat Michigan that night. Cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Right there. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Need to work our final break in. There's more red carpet experience coming your way. We'll tell you about that coming up next.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help us with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. J.D. Power ranked Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region and #1 in price.
See Agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont, Katie Bargman in Columbus, or Janelle Moore in Holdridge.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money.
Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. Final few minutes of Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night. The Athletic Department announced today that they're going to expand the red carpet experience. This was such a huge hit during football season last year. This is with the help of FNBO, and what they're going to do is they're going to do some events like the spring game coming up on April the 9th, which, by the way, is only a month and a day away. How about that?
Crazy.
And then baseball games starting next week with New Mexico State's game on Tuesday. Some softball games starting April the 4th. So more details on how to donate to help the red carpet experience can be found by visiting huskers.com/red carpet. There's a whole landing page there. This is how things work, is that you don't know when you kind of put together a concept for something like this that it might take off, but this thing sure did. It
really has, and I've got a chance to talk to Dr. Chatters about it several times, and just, you know, if you talk to some of these Nebraska kids, or even really, I mean, any athlete that plays college sports, a lot of times they go to a game and they're inspired when they're young, and then, you know, to see, I can go to college and get my degree, and, you know, it's inspiring, but then it also opens up the world to, you know, kids that might not go to a baseball or softball game, and maybe they learn to love this game. Maybe they want to go out for softball or baseball. Maybe they'll come back to another game. And you know, we talked earlier about keeping those fans coming and that younger generation. And so, you know, introducing younger fans to Nebraska and making them fall in love with Husker sports. And so it's just so important to provide this opportunity, and I'm so glad that it's taken off and that Husker Nation has welcomed it and accepted it, and they nominate people and they support it, and it's really been fun to see.
I just think it's a win-win for all parties involved. I'm so glad that this is, I think, becoming a new tradition for this athletic department moving forward.
It's fun too, because you can tell that when those kids get there and they're just so excited, they cheer so loud, and the teams feed off of that. The athletes love to hear that. You know, I can't wait to hear them get involved with the baseball and softball chants, you know, especially those softball chants, because that's fun, and they'll get all into it, and it inspires the team as well.
All right. Speaking of spring game, Huskers are approaching 40,000 tickets sold for that. It is April the 9th, and again, it's going to cost you more if you want to buy it the day of the game. So you want to buy them in advance. Scott Frost will meet with the media tomorrow after practice, and we're told some quarterbacks are going to be there.
Yep, I'm ready. I'll be there, ready to interview some quarterbacks, so we will have them on hopefully Thursday.
Looking forward to that. So that's our next show is Thursday. Tomorrow, double barrel action, as somebody texted us earlier, said so baseball and basketball both playing the Purple Wildcats tomorrow. That's right, Husker baseball in Manhattan to take on K-State. That game was supposed to be tonight, got moved to tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Some of these stations will have that at 3:30 tomorrow. You can hear it all on Huskers.com or the Huskers app. And the men's basketball team in Indy, 5 o'clock against Northwestern, 4 o'clock for pregame coverage tomorrow.
We'll start a run.
I'm going to be, yeah, absolutely. Let's go. Make 5 and 5, right? Be 5 and 5 to get to that thing.
Let's do it.
That should be fun. So no show tomorrow night, but we'll be back on Thursday, regardless of what the men do tomorrow, because if they win, they play earlier in the day. So that broadcast will be over before Sports Island. So here we go. March is here.
Crossover season.
All these conference tournaments are going on. This is fun.
Most wonderful time of the year. I said it last night. I love March Madness. It's my favorite, my absolute favorite.
All these smaller tournaments happening this week, and then the Big Tens get going tomorrow with the Huskers playing the Cats. There are 2 games of the Big Ten tournament tomorrow. That'll do it for tonight. Thanks to Jessica, to Tim, for all of you for listening to this. Again, tomorrow night, no show. Back with you on Thursday. A full smorgasbord of things coming your way on Thursday night. Enjoy the games tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska's CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, Visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com, one of our 19 dealerships, or a combination of both. It's that easy. Plus, offering the most wanted new makes and leading pre-owned models, your next vehicle is on the lot or on its way. Shop confidently with the Woodhouse team today. Serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, call J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list.